Okay, so welcome. Please introduce yourself and let us know, who you are and why'd you join the channeling course.
Yeah, so my name is Analena, and why I decided to do the channeling course is because first of all, I love you. I love your
Oh,
energy. So,
thank you.
and I really like the approach that you have with the guides and the channeling because it's not so complicated, because I have been looking at the Akashic records for a while, and it's always like, oh, you have to follow this process, or you have to do this prayer to access the records and things like that. So I like how, yeah, just like how you do it. And I just followed my intuition. I was just like, this is it. And I love your approach, which is very unique and easy, simple, practical.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, because I a long time ago, when I started understand to learn about the Akashic records, so it's also like it seemed like really complicated, And when the guide said they want to start a channeling class, they're like, "Don't worry, we're gonna make it super easy for everybody."
Yeah.
So I'm glad you find it that way. So what are some of the things that you have channeled or received, through that process?
So, the biggest thing for me is that I have started to notice, what's the difference? Because we have that voice within us, right? Which oftentimes we call it the ego. It's not really, it's a fear-based part of us, right? And the more I have been practicing it, and it's like, I get it, especially when I'm not trying. That makes sense. I guess it makes sense because you know that's how it works. But it's like I know now more clearly, which is still a work in progress, of course, but when it's really a message from me that I'm supposed to receive. And it's like, oh no, this is what you're supposed to do. And I can feel it in my body when something is off. Right. If something I'm not meant to do and it's my mind, I almost feel like my body is pulling me back. And then I also have those voices too. It's not the right time. Right.
Yeah, that's very true because there is if it's kind of like I think a lot of people ask, well, how do you know it's your own head versus it's the real message from the records? What's your experience on that?
Yeah. So when it's my head, I'm coming from a place of I need to figure it out. I'm overthinking it. I'm rationalizing it, right? And when it comes from the records, it's like you take a shower and you're not really trying, or you're in this open space. You put out a question. I would like to have some guidance or know what's right for me, and then it just comes with ease. But there's not this part of me that tries to analyze it and overthink it. It's easy, it's effortless.
And how have you used it to, let's say, improve your work or improve your personal life?
So I like to, when I have something where I feel like I'm a little bit stuck, then I sit down and I relax and I ask for guidance. I ask for what's the right thing for me to do. And then it usually comes really quickly. It's like, hey, you have been focusing on things that you are trying to force or push. That's not the way to go, and just do that thing. So it puts me more in the flow of the day, and knows because I cannot work really well when I put too many things on my schedule and like, oh, I need to do this at 10 a.m. and I need to do this at 12 and so forth. And so it's almost like they're with me all day and they're guiding me through the day to show me when is the right time to do things. So I'm just having like more awareness of it and I feel supported.
Mm,
So
yeah. Oh, that's really wonderful. So, what would be
yeah,
like a recent example of something that you channeled?
yeah. So with my podcast, I'm about to launch a podcast, and I feel like that also has been the guidance from the guides. And one of the things, well, it's like all about this. I mean, I feel like everything we do is channeling, right? So it's like everything I say and I speak. So, for example, when I'm on my podcast episodes, I don't prepare. Like, and I used to be more in back in the day, like, oh, I need to have an agenda. I need to go through all these things. And when I'm channeling, it's more that I just trust that whatever needs to come through comes through, and then boom, it happened, and it's done. So if that's on a podcast episode, and then you share something with other people that get really inspired, and again, it's like you get out of overthinking, and you're just allowing yourself to let come through wants to come through. And I think you say this, like, you're like an open, it's like an open channel. You just let it come through. You're not blocking it and pushing it away because your mind is like, no, I have to answer this question, or I have to ask this thing, right?
That's so true. Yeah. And I think that's the best way to channel. It's just be open to what the message is rather than demanding something, to happen.
Yeah, yeah. And then another thing is, this is like when I work with my clients, for example, I get these messages, and usually when it comes like twice, then I say it, because then I know, okay, it's really meant to be said, it's meant to be shared, and they don't let me not, like, it's gonna like keep kicking my butt, I guess, because if something is really meant for me to be shared in some way, like, it just comes through, and then I do share it, and I even say now to people like, no, this has come like twice, I know it's time to be shared. So it's in many different ways, actually, now that we're talking.
That's really cool. So how I'm curious, like how receptive are your own clients when you say that?
Are very receptive, because I mean, I have been coaching for a while, and I guess over time it's all a process,
Yeah.
right? And I mean, I say that's my intuitive guidance, or my what's coming through for me. I don't see any resistance there. And it's also the way I share it is very like, I mean, see what resonates with you, right? At the end, if it's something for another person, they need to still feel it in their own body, or if they're ready to actually take that action or take that piece of wisdom for
Oh,
them.
that's very cool. So what is something that you maybe in your own personal life that you've used the Akashic records for?
In my own personal life, well, it's like, it's very similar to my business life, where I was telling you, like, I don't plan my day exactly. I mean, of course, I have some calls scheduled that I attend, right? But for example, in my personal life, I also let that be the same way, where I don't over plan my day, and now's the time to go here. Or let's say I'm driving, and then it's like, oh, well, go this way, don't go this way, right? Or when I'm running outside, I let them guide me, and then things just work out perfect, if that makes sense. Because again, I get out of my head, and I'm just allowing that guidance to show me where I'm meant to be going. Or like yesterday, I went for a run, for example, and I had an idea in my head how I was gonna run, but I was like, no, go this way, and I went a totally different way. And it was a long run, like 16 kilometers. So it felt really easy, it felt really beautiful. And again, I don't know it would have been any different, but it also rained. And on that route, there was barely any rain, just for like less than a minute. So
Yeah.
it that's like kind of an example.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, how did you like the classes that we've had this year?
Yeah. Honestly, I have to tell you, like, every class that you have, like where you channel, I love it, because it's like there's one concept that you deliver, but in a way that it sticks with me, because many of the things we may have heard them before, but it just really, really resonates how you bring it across, also in such a kind of assertive way, because they're not sugarcoating anything, right? It's kind of like, hey, this is how it is. And I love them. There's always such an important message in there, and it's simple, right? It's not like, oh, you have to do this 1 hour a day, and you have to do this, and then you have to follow this 5-step process. It's like, no, pick this one little thing and just do that, and just keep focusing on that. So that really resonates with me, because I'm not too much, I don't know, when I have to do too many things that are too structured, it doesn't work for me. And the way that they deliver it, it's just, it makes sense. You can do it in your daily life without, okay, I'm gonna sit down and now I have to do this. It just becomes part of life. So
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. So what would you say to people who are kind of thinking about joining class, but maybe they're afraid of, hearing voices or whatever?
well, here's the thing. You probably already, because we all are connected, right? It's just a matter of being more aware of it. And that's what helped me really with you, to be aware of it. And even our conversation right now made me realize that, wow, I'm actually connected to them so much more than I thought. So what I would say is, I mean, first of all, trust your own body, your feeling. If you feel pulled and drawn to do this, it's normal to have some fears, and your mind may talk you out of it. Your mind is not here to make decisions. Follow your gut feeling, right? What is that telling you? And I can just tell you that it's incredibly life transforming if you're ready for it, right? And for me, it has been amazing, life changing. And so if there's any part of you that wants to try it out, I would say do it. Because there's a reason you're here. There's a reason why you're listening to this. So maybe that's just what you needed to, take that next step.
Oh, thank you so much, Analena. And congratulations really on your own transformation and being able to use this method to help you with work and in your personal life. It's amazing.
Yeah. No, it's like the most beautiful way to live life, right?
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. So appreciate your time today and thank you so much for sharing your experience. Okay?
You're welcome.
That's
Bye.
love. Bye-bye.